What is up, my fellow gamers? In today's video, we got our best beginner's guide for Odin Valhalla Rising. Looking up for more amazing gaming content. I'll have timestamps down below. We got a bunch of different topics to cover in this video. First thing I want to start off with is your alt accounts. So on your main account, or I guess you could say an alt character, on your main regular account, you can have a bunch of different characters. So first thing you should do, if you want to be like a serious hardcore player, is create an alt character. And that is because your alt characters will actually go ahead and they share a bunch of different resources. But what you can do is you can kind of feed those other characters the items that they get to your main character. So a good instance would be like feats. So you have a little icon that says feats, and every time you go ahead and complete one of these, you get gold. Those are separate, but you share the same amount of gold for all of your characters. So with your extra characters, you can go ahead, complete these feats again and again, you know, with a different character, and then you can just have extra gold that way. Also, stuff like party dungeons, you know, you're limited to 3 party dungeon runs per week. But with extra characters, you can pretty much double and triple that, so you can have a chance to get more loot. There's also those hidden chests that are hidden all around the different worlds. Those are reset upon the different characters you have. So after you go ahead and you find all the treasure chests that are hidden for one character, you could do it for another character. So right, you get extra value, extra items and stuff like that. And you also have your stash. You can go ahead and put really good items that you get in your stash from one character, put it in the stash, and then go collect it from your main character. There's a lot of different value and a lot of things going on by just creating these additional characters to go ahead and like feed your main one that you are going to be using. This is definitely a must if you are someone who is like free to play and you just want to be somewhat competitive. So that's pretty much one of the top things to do. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to, but it will definitely help, especially if you do get stuck and you just don't know what to do and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, I'm stuck. That's one thing you can do. Go create another character, grind up the other character, and then, you know, feed your main character. The next thing I want to talk about is going to be diamonds. So I got a free-to-play account. I haven't spent any money in this game. And you can see that I actually do have some diamonds though. So you can get diamonds without, you know, spending money, and that's pretty much through the auction shop. So if we head on over to the trading post is what it's called, and we go to where it says sell. You do need to reach a certain level though. Once you reach, I think it's level 30, then you can sell stuff. But I highly recommend, if you have the ability to list something that isn't character bound, that you do it. And that's strictly because diamonds are more valuable than pretty much almost anything else in the game for the most part. I will say that, like, if you have a super duper rare item, then maybe you might not want to sell that. But if we go to my trading history, like, this is all stuff that wasn't character bound, and I just kind of threw it on the auction shop to get myself some diamonds. So like boonstones and just some random materials that, you know, they're fairly easy to get, like wood and stuff, and you can just get diamonds a really easy way through that, especially if you're free to play. This is a great way for you to get diamonds. Just sell stuff that isn't character bound. And as far as your diamonds go, like the best use for them, I mean, you can go out on the trading post and you can buy stuff you want, you know, with your diamonds. Maybe there's an item like we head on over to maybe like a weapon or a piece of armor that we want. You know, you might be able to find something that's decent or something. But when all else fails and you just don't know what to do with your diamonds, the sure thing that you just can't go wrong with is increasing your bag space. And that's what I've been doing. Going ahead, using some diamonds to increase your bag space. You can never go wrong with that, because you're always going to, you know, the more bag space, the better, the more stuff you can carry. Next thing we got is our main quest. Now, as a brand new player, you should go through your main quest as much as possible to the point where you can't go any further. Like if you get stuck because you're just not strong enough, you might reach like a big boss battle, and then you're not strong enough, and at that point then you can go do side quests, you can go do a bunch of other things, but your main quest should be your main priority because it gives you really good XP. It's going to help you get through the different worlds, because there are different worlds and different worlds offer different items and different things. So the first place you start off in is called I forget how you pronounce it. I think it's called Midgard or something like that. But I am currently in the second world right now. So once you get through all the quests in that first area right here, Midgard, then I have access to the second place, which I don't know how to pronounce this, whatever it's called. But this is the second area, and I believe there's like 4 worlds in total. Yeah. So as you go ahead and you get through those main quests, you'll unlock these new worlds, and with new worlds, you'll have like, you know, new shop items, new boss monsters, new grinding areas, new items will drop. If we head on over to take a look at the elite monsters, realm invaders, there's different realm invaders for different worlds. The ones in this world that I'm in, you can see they spawn very, very like not that often, right? We got like 5 hours, 11 hours, 6 hours. These ones really don't spawn that often, but in Midgard, they're pretty fast. I mean, they're spawning every, you know, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, really fast turnarounds for these. But obviously these ones are going to drop way better items. You can see you're getting like a chance to get these green uncommon gear and stuff like that. Now, aside from your regular main quests, the next thing we want to go over is our town quests. Town quests are another great thing that you should do every day. They do reset and you'll be able to do a certain amount of these every day. Don't skip on these, because you're not only getting, you know, your typical XP and gold, but you're also going to get a random reward that you can choose from. Now, you know, it's random. It's going to show 5 different cards and then you pick one and you randomly get something, but it can give you some really good hits if you go ahead and you find higher tier town quests. What I recommend is in this bottom left corner right here where I was just blocking, you can go ahead and you can refresh your town quests. I believe up to 15 times right here. It does continue to cost more gold, but it's definitely worth it. So like right now, I don't have any level 2s or 3s. I only got level 1s. But I would stay away and really not accept any level 1s. So this is something that I would refresh. Okay, so we got some level 2s. And just kind of look and see what items are offered as our possible rewards. What I also like to do is in this corner right here where it says highlight collectible items, I like to have this checked. It just shows this little marker and it just draws attention to it, making it kind of easier to see the item. So I will come in here, and if this is something that I want, I'll go ahead and accept it. Now, what I suggest you do is accept all 7 of them. And then what you can do is once you go ahead and you start one and it's complete, it'll automatically go and start doing the other quests. So instead of doing this one by one, like instead of me clicking and doing this one right now and then coming back in here and then choosing another, just pick 7 in a row and then you'll have all them lined up, and then it'll just bang out all of them. Like you can basically AFK all of these town quests. So let's go ahead. And I'm going to select all these level 2s just really fast so we can do this live on camera. We'll go with another 2. And then we'll take these last 2 right here. All right, so we got all 7. And you can see we got 7 of these all lined up. Now, the other cool thing that happens sometimes is if you do this early enough, like at the beginning of your day, sometimes, like this happened just the other day for me, you can get double value. You'll end up like completing them just based on the fact that you're doing your main quests. So sometimes the main quests will overlap with those town quests, and you'll get like, you'll start collecting like this bat meat, even though I'm not like trying to focus on it because I'm doing like the main quest, and you'll just be in the area and you'll get double values. That's one thing to really look out for. Like it helps out grinding a lot easier to do stuff like that. But like I was mentioning before, like you're just going to click on this, and once this is done, it'll just continue to run through all of these, and you can just AFK it, and it's super simple, super easy. Next thing I want to go over is our buffs. Our buffs are super duper important. They give us things like movement speed, attack speed, extra stats, HP, MP regen, things that are very, very important that may not seem that significant because they might be lower numbers, but really they do play a huge impact. You can go ahead and you can buy pretty much any of these items. The main town that you're in for whatever world, go to the consumables shop and then go ahead and just start buying a bunch of this stuff with your gold. And it's definitely worth it. Go ahead and use these as much as possible anytime you're grinding, anytime you're doing anything. Now the way to check your buffs is going to be right here if you're on the PC version. If you're on the mobile version, it's going to look a little bit different. And the mobile version is going to have your buffs like in this top left corner. You can see all these little icons right here. If you click it, this will show you your buff list. Now the Mimir's Wisdom, this is kind of like your XP bonus and gold bonus. The game gives you a bunch of this for free every day. I think you get like 20,000 or 40,000, but you are able to go to the shop, buy extra. And we also have these Mimir's contracts as well, where you're going to get this water auto use plus 50, but you get the auto gather 1 per 5 minutes. The game gives you one of these contracts for free, but you can also go to the shop, go over here to the premium shop, and then go to general offers. And then if we go to stuff like consumables, so this is where we can go ahead and we can use our gold to buy items. We also have like growth material that we can buy, but it's right here, the contract. You buy 2 of these every month, so basically one lasts for 15 days. So pretty much you can have that running constantly. What it does is it means it'll auto gather an item that's nearby. This is future me cutting in real quick because I did figure out how this worked. I was a little confused about how the auto gather worked, but basically what happens is as long as you're in range, so your auto combat circle, if an item that you can gather is in that range, what it's going to do is every 5 minutes, it's going to auto gather, so you don't even have your character go over to the item. I actually caught it live on camera because I wanted to test it and see, so I'll put it in the video so you can see. I'm standing next to this item that can be gathered. I have my Mimir's contract thing for auto gathering on, and you can see that after a certain amount of time, it just automatically is consumed, and then it shows up in my inventory, and my character never even goes over and gathers it. So it's a really awesome feature for AFK grinding when you're like autoing, idle, whatever it may be. But the thing that I suggest is if you're going to do something like that, make sure you're like at least in range of items that can be gathered. So you can go ahead and you can turn on your auto gathering to unlimited. You have like an unlimited range for your auto combat, but you know, auto combat, auto gather, same thing pretty much. But your auto circle, you can set it to unlimited, so that way you'll pretty much always go ahead and get a free, you know, material every 5 minutes. But while you're in the shop, if you want to just buy all the items that you are offered for gold, you have a quick buy right here in the bottom left, and basically you can just buy everything that is offered for gold. So roughly you're going to spend around, you know, 2 million gold right here, but you're also getting these water tiers as well, which, you know, increase your XP and your gold output. So if you need that, you can you can buy a lot of the stuff for gold right here. Now, a really cool trick that I have for when you're upgrading gear that can kind of save you a headache of losing a piece of gear, but still being able to get it at a somewhat high level, upgrade it to a higher level. So it's a pretty simple trick, and it might be obvious to some, but I feel like some people also just don't like, I feel like some people completely overlook this. But what you want to do is basically any piece of gear that you have, you want to level it up or enhance it right before you have your last safe level. What I mean by that is, this is an example we'll go with our boots. Once we get this to plus level 5, item destruction upon failure happens. So if we want to go ahead and we want to try and get this to 6, we have a chance that, you know, it could fail. Well, what you want to do is you want to take this to 4, and then you want to use your special enhancement materials, which are basically like, you're going to see, I don't know if I have any. Oh, this one right here, the sword one. It's going to look like this. It's going to be gold. And what these do, these gold ones, they actually give you a chance to upgrade your whatever weapon, item, whatever it is, not only +1, but +2. So you want to use those on the safe level up, because that is actually how I was able to get one of my gear from 4 to 6, because I hit the +2 and I didn't have to worry about the item destruction. So really, really important thing to look at. I think I did it with this, my cloak. So I got my cloak right here to level 4, and then I used one of my gold enhancements and it went 2 levels, so I got it to 6 without having to basically gamble, you know, to get it to 6. So really cool trick. Just be on the lookout for that. And you do that pretty much with anything, any of your accessories or whatever. Just use that on the level right before you have that item destruction. And the last thing I want to talk about really quick is going to be in our settings, and that's going to be with our auto battle targeting range. Now this, I feel, is very important to look at and adjust accordingly to your AFK needs. So if you have this at like unlimited, your character is pretty much going to go all over the map, and he's going to spend more time traveling than actually battling. So I've tried that out, and if you have it on unlimited, sometimes like there'll be a monster really close to you nearby, but for whatever reason my character will prioritize a monster that's really far away, and he'll just start traveling, right? So the one thing that I suggest is to lower your auto battling target range. This is also good for if you're trying to grind a specific monster, you know, or a specific area. You want it very tight. You don't want your character running to enemies. You just don't. You don't want them running from here to here to here, like all over the place. You want to reduce their movement as much as possible. And by reducing their movement as much as possible, you'll be attacking, you know, more enemies and stuff a lot easier. So it's kind of trial and error. You got to find a dense area for, you know, AFK grinding, and then just lower that. I would say that, like, you know, 20 meters is the lowest. 50 meters is okay. The game is default at 50 meters. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. I think 80 meters can be a little bit too much, and I think the unlimited is also like a little bit like really, really ridiculous at times. But I think each one kind of has their own use in certain situations depending on your needs. So I definitely suggest you really take a look at this, because I think this is one of the more important settings that you really got to look out for that can, you know, impact the way your character does battle. And also, like, display auto battle range. I like to have this on so that I can actually see the range. So that way you can kind of get like a better understanding of what 20 meters looks like, or 50 meters or 80 meters. You can actually physically see the circle around your character, and then you can, you know, visualize, okay, this is where my character will farm and he won't go outside of this circle. So that is it for right now. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed the video. Stay happy, stay safe. I'll have a bunch more videos. There's a lot to cover in this game. See you later. Peace.